Built not in Maranello, not in Molsheim, not in Stuttgart, that just became the fastest production car on the face of the earth.
The world of fast cars is changing very quickly, and it feels like two different eras are now fighting each other on the same road. On one side, there are traditional European hypercars like the Bugatti, known for extreme engineering, luxury, and petrol engines that represent the peak of old car technology. On the other side, there are new electric machines coming from China, led by companies like BYD, which are growing fast and improving their technology every year. The biggest example of this change is the battle between the famous Bugatti Chiron and the new generation of electric hypercars like the Yangwang U9. At the same time, the internet has also changed how car stories are told, with creators like Mat Armstrong showing that even damaged hypercars can be rebuilt outside factory control. This mix of technology, competition, and online storytelling has created a new kind of car world where speed is not the only thing that matters. It is also about innovation, access, and who can push limits further, even without a big legacy name behind them. What makes this moment interesting is that it is not just about one car being faster than another. It is about a full shift in power in the automotive world, where old rules are being challenged by new ideas, and where performance is no longer controlled by only a few famous brands in Europe. Instead, new companies are stepping in and proving that the future of speed might look very different from the past. The Bugatti Chiron is one of the most famous modern hypercars ever built. It represents the peak of traditional car engineering from Bugatti, using a massive 8.0-liter W16 engine with 4 turbochargers. This engine is designed not just for speed, but also for smooth power delivery at extremely high levels. The Chiron became a symbol of what petrol engines can achieve when cost is not a limit. It can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just a few seconds and reach speeds above 300 miles per hour in special conditions. But more than numbers, it became a cultural icon. Owning a Chiron means owning one of the most expensive and exclusive machines in the world, and only a very small number of people can ever experience it. The car is also important because it represents the final stage of extreme petrol performance before electric cars started to take over. Many fans see it as the end of an era car because it pushes internal combustion technology almost as far as it can go. However, even with all its success, the Chiron also shows the limits of old engineering. It is extremely expensive, very complex, and difficult to repair. This is where stories like the one involving Mat Armstrong become interesting, because they show that even such advanced machines are not untouchable. When a damaged Chiron appears outside the factory system, it becomes clear how dependent these cars are on their manufacturers. This creates a strong contrast with newer companies like BYD, where technology is becoming more open, scalable, and fast-moving. The Chiron stands as both a masterpiece and a symbol of a world that is slowly being replaced by something new in recent years. The biggest challenge to traditional hypercars has come from electric vehicles, and one of the strongest players in this space is BYD. The company started with regular electric cars and buses, but over time it developed its own batteries, motors, and full car systems. This full control over technology helped it grow faster than many competitors. One of its most advanced creations is the Yangwang U9, a high-performance electric hypercar designed to show what electric power can really do. Unlike traditional cars, it does not rely on a large engine with fuel. Instead, it uses multiple electric motors that can deliver instant power to each wheel. This allows very fast acceleration and precise control. The U9 is also built on advanced battery systems that store and release energy quickly, which is one of the most important parts of any electric performance car. What makes this development important is that it shows how electric cars are no longer just about saving fuel or being practical. They are now competing directly with the fastest cars in the world. The goal is no longer just efficiency, but also extreme performance. The rise of companies like BYD shows how quickly the global car industry is changing. In the past, most people believed that Europe would always lead in high-performance cars, but now new companies are proving that leadership can move to other parts of the world. The Yangwang U9 represents this shift clearly. It is not just a car. It is a message that electric technology has reached a level where it can compete with the best petrol machines ever built. This is why the comparison with the Bugatti Chiron is so important in modern car discussions. One of the most talked about moments in recent automotive news is a reported high-speed run of the Yangwang U9, where it reached speeds above 300 miles per hour under controlled testing conditions. This kind of performance is extremely rare, even among hypercars. The run showed how far electric technology has come, especially in terms of power delivery and stability at very high speeds. The car uses multiple electric motors working together, which allows it to maintain strong acceleration even at speeds where most cars start to lose power. This is different from traditional engines like the one in the Bugatti Chiron, which rely on mechanical power from fuel combustion. The electric system also reduces delays in power delivery, meaning the car responds instantly when the driver presses the pedal. However, this kind of performance also raises questions. Some experts argue that top speed runs do not fully represent real-world driving ability. Others point out that electric cars are heavy because of their batteries, which can affect handling and braking. Even with these debates, the achievement still marks an important moment for BYD because it shows that electric cars are no longer limited to city driving or short-range use. They can now enter the same performance category as the fastest petrol cars ever made. This creates a new type of competition where technology is constantly evolving. The Yangwang U9 is not just competing on speed, but also on innovation, showing that electric systems can be powerful enough to challenge long-standing records set by brands like Bugatti. While speed records are exciting, the comparison between the Bugatti Chiron and the Yangwang U9 is not simple. Both cars use very different technologies, and each has strengths and weaknesses. The Chiron uses a large combustion engine that has been refined over many years by Bugatti. It is known for stability, long-distance, high-speed capability, and strong engineering heritage. On the other hand, the U9 from BYD uses electric motors that deliver instant torque and high efficiency. However, electric cars often carry heavier weight because of their batteries, which can affect cornering and braking performance. There's also debate about real-world testing versus controlled test conditions. A top speed run on a special track is not the same as everyday driving, or even racing on a normal circuit. This is why some people still prefer traditional cars like the Bugatti Chiron, even if electric cars show higher numbers in some areas. At the same time, electric technology is improving very fast, and companies like BYD are solving problems like battery cooling, weight distribution, and power delivery every year. This creates a situation where the gap between old and new technology is shrinking quickly. The debate is not just about which car is faster, but about which type of technology will define the future. The Yangwang U9 represents the future direction, while the Chiron represents the peak of the past. Both are important, but they belong to different eras of engineering. Another important part of this story is the rebuild of a crashed hypercar by Mat Armstrong. He is known for buying damaged luxury and performance cars and bringing them back to life using a mix of skill, creativity, and determination. One of his most famous projects involved a damaged Bugatti Chiron that many people believed could not be repaired outside the factory system of Bugatti. The car was heavily damaged and considered a total loss by insurance standards. However, instead of accepting that outcome, he decided to rebuild it. This process was extremely difficult because many parts are exclusive and controlled by the manufacturer. Without official support, repairs become much harder. Despite this, he and his team worked step by step, repairing structural parts, sourcing compatible components, and carefully rebuilding the car. This story became popular because it showed that even the most exclusive machines in the world can sometimes be repaired outside official systems. It also highlighted how modern online creators are changing the automotive world. Instead of only watching factory-made stories, audiences now see real repair processes, real problems, and real solutions. This makes cars like the Bugatti Chiron feel more human and less distant. It also creates an interesting contrast with companies like BYD, where technology is being built to scale and mass production. The rebuild story is not just about fixing a car. It is about challenging the idea of control in the automotive industry. In the end, the comparison between traditional hypercars and modern electric machines is not just about speed or power. It is about a bigger shift in the automotive world. The Bugatti and its iconic Bugatti Chiron represent a long history of mechanical excellence, where engineering was pushed through combustion engines and handcrafted design. Meanwhile, BYD and its Yangwang U9 represent a new direction based on electric power, software control, and fast innovation cycles. At the same time, creators like Mat Armstrong show that the ownership and repair hypercars is also changing, becoming more open and more connected to online communities. The future of performance cars will likely not belong to just one technology. Instead, it will be a mix of electric and combustion systems for some time, before electric systems slowly take over more of the market. What is clear is that the industry is no longer stable or predictable. New companies can rise quickly, old records can be broken, and even the most expensive cars can be rebuilt outside factory walls. This makes the current moment one of the most interesting times in car history. The story is not just about who is faster today, but about who will define speed tomorrow, and how that definition will continue to change as technology moves forward. Another key part of this changing car world is how quickly technology is improving in electric vehicles compared to traditional petrol cars. Companies like BYD are not just building cars anymore. They are building entire systems from the ground up. This includes batteries, motors, chips, and even software that controls how the car behaves on the road. In the past, most car companies depended on outside suppliers for many of these parts. But now, BYD controls almost everything inside its own ecosystem. This gives it a big advantage because it can improve every part of the car at the same time. For example, if they improve battery efficiency, it also improves speed, range, and performance altogether. This is very different from traditional manufacturers like Bugatti, which focus more on perfecting one extreme product over many years instead of rapidly updating technology. This difference in approach is important because it shows two completely different ways of thinking about engineering. One is slow, careful, and focused on perfection. The other is fast, scalable, and focused on constant improvement. The result is that electric cars like the Yangwang U9 are improving very quickly, sometimes within a single year, while petrol hypercars like the Bugatti Chiron represent years of development in one final product. This creates an interesting balance where both types of cars still matter, but for different reasons. The petrol hypercars are still seen as engineering masterpieces, while electric hypercars are becoming symbols of future innovation. As this competition continues, it is likely that electric performance will become even stronger, especially as battery technology improves. However, the emotional value of traditional engines will still remain important for many car fans. The sound, feel, and mechanical nature of petrol engines cannot be replaced easily. This is why the debate is not just technical, but also emotional, and it will continue for many years as both sides evolve. Another important layer in this story is how performance is measured and understood. In the case of the Yangwang U9, many of its headline numbers come from controlled testing environments. These environments are designed to reduce risk and allow cars to reach their maximum potential safely. For example, high-speed oval tracks are used to test top speed because they allow cars to run without sharp corners or interruptions. On the other hand, traditional performance tests like those done with the Bugatti Chiron often include multiple conditions, including real-world limitations such as wind, road surface, and driver consistency. This difference makes comparisons more complex. A car that performs extremely well in one type of test may not always perform the same way in another environment. This is why experts often debate what fastest really means. Is it the highest recorded speed in one direction? Is it the average of two runs? Or is it lap time on a full circle with corners, braking, and elevation changes? Each method gives a different answer. This is also where companies like BYD are changing the discussion because they are introducing new types of performance data that challenge old definitions. At the same time, legacy brands like Bugatti rely on established rules and official standards to validate their achievements. This creates tension between innovation and tradition. Neither side is completely wrong, but both are measuring success in different ways. As a result, modern car debates are becoming more complicated than ever before. It is no longer enough to say a car is fast. Now, people ask how it was tested, under what conditions, and whether the results can be repeated. This deeper level of questioning is important because it helps separate marketing claims from real engineering progress. It also shows that the future of automotive performance will depend not only on speed, but also on transparency and trust in testing methods. At the same time, the human side of the car world is becoming more visible through creators like Mat Armstrong. In the past, Hypercars were seen as untouchable machines owned only by very rich people and controlled completely by manufacturers. If something broke, it had to go back to the factory for repair. But now, online creators are changing that idea. By buying damaged cars and rebuilding them, they are showing that even the most complex machines can be understood and repaired outside official systems. The rebuild of a damaged Bugatti Chiron is a perfect example of this shift. It shows that knowledge, patience, and problem-solving can sometimes replace factory restrictions. Even when companies like Bugatti Refuse provide support, determined builders can still find ways to bring a car back to life. This does not mean factory engineering is not important. Instead, it shows that modern car culture is becoming more open and creative. People are no longer just consumers. They are participants in the life of a car. They watch repairs, understand failures, and learn about engineering in real time. This makes cars feel more relatable and less like distant luxury objects. It also adds a new layer to the story of performance cars, where ownership is not just about driving, but also about understanding and sometimes rebuilding the machine. In contrast, companies like BYD are focused on large-scale production and future technology. So while one side is about individual passion and repair, the other is about industrial scale and rapid innovation. Both are shaping the automotive world in